Okay, so I think we had a little trouble last week with getting our Google Drives going here. So you guys can log into this on just about anything. Now it's going to be harder maybe on an iPad. I don't think you'll be able to do it on that or a phone. But if you've got a computer or a Chromebook and you can get to your Google Classroom stuff, then you should be able to do this. So I've got Google open up here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the apps here, all right? And when I click in there, I want to go to my Google Drive, all right? So from my Google Drive, you should have, this should be a lot of the stuff that's in your Google Drive. These are all my files, but you want to go to New, all right? So you're going to click on the New button, and the very top thing that drops open is a folder, all right? And we are going to open that folder up, and you are going to give it the name Sketchup, all right? So we got our new folder open. We're going to type in Sketchup, S-K-E-T-C-H-U-P, and then you are going to hit Create, all right? That's going to give you a folder in your Google Drive, all right? So now what I want to do is I am going to go up, once I hit Create, it's going to be in there. There's my folder for SketchUp. I'm going to go back to the Google Apps, all right? And then I am going to open up SketchUp for Schools, all right? If you can get to your Google Classroom stuff, you should be able to get this. It comes with all of that Google stuff. So SketchUp for Schools is going to open. Yours is going to be a little different if you have not saved a file yet, all right? There's going to be some things that come up, and on the screen it's going to say sign in with Google, so you're going to sign in with Google. And then you're going to need to allow, all right? So mine has already been done. Yours, if it comes up first, you're going to sign in with your Google, your Google Drive stuff, and then you are going to hit allow for the SketchUp program to to be able to work together with that stuff, all right? And then when that gets allowed, then you're going to hit something that says a picture will come up and we'll say start modeling, okay? Now I have files saved, so I don't have to go through that anymore, but you're going to start your first one with start modeling, okay? And then when you hit start modeling, you should get a screen that looks like this, all right? So you're going to have this guy on here, and then we have the toolbar. Now we went over all of this toolbar, so we're going to go on to the next part, all right? But if you don't remember the toolbar or you did not watch the video from last week, then I recommend going back, pausing this, go back and check out that video. All you got to do is go to my YouTube channel, World of Longton, all right, and look at last week's video about SketchUp, okay? And this will explain a lot of the tools in this section, all right? For 5th grade, your assignment will be you are going to create a mansion, all right? And there's going to be a PDF, all right, that's going to accompany this video, and the requirements for your drawing will be on here, all right? So in class, I'm going to go over this with them. You guys can read over this. I'm going to read it out loud here. You're going to have one building, so that's kind of a no-brainer. It's going to be a mansion, so you're going to want to create a building, all right? So we're going to create, the start of our building, and we can decide how big and how tall that we want all these things to be. And then there's some other requirements that you have to get in. You're going to have a front door and a back door because we've got to be able to get into this mansion somehow, all right? Somewhere on here, you're going to have a triangle roof, all right? There needs to be 10 or more windows on your mansion. That should be easy to do. Somewhere on the property, you are going to need to have some type of outdoor space. Maybe that's a pool, maybe it's a fire pit, maybe it's a sports area, maybe you got a basketball hoop or something. Something where people can get together and gather and have a good time, all right? You need to have a garage for your mansion, so that garage can be attached to the mansion, or it can be separate, depending on maybe you got a detached garage to hold all your fancy cars, all right? There's going to need to be some landscaping, so as we get towards the end of this picture, you're going to be putting in bushes and trees, but you can draw walkways and little things like that, all right? You need to come up with something unique for your mansion. So it should be something that's totally you and something that maybe nobody else will have, okay, something totally unique. And then when all of this list is done, you are going to create your own details. You're going to go in, you're going to be able to go in and add bricks and siding and things like that, all right? So I can go over real quick the toolbar for you guys from last week that maybe didn't get it, all right? I'm going to do the same thing in class. So what I did was I clicked on the rectangle button here, all right? So you can see when I highlight these things, rectangle comes up, all right? And my choices, I've got 5 choices there. So in those choices, I have a circle and I have a rectangle, things that I can work with. So I picked the rectangle and I just kind of drew that out by clicking and dragging. And then right below the rectangle is a push-pull. So at the very top, again, if you mess around with this stuff and you don't like something, you can always go up to this button right here and undo real quick. I'll go right up there right now. Boom, I didn't like what I did. So don't be afraid to mess around and try to figure out what's going to be what, all right? So I'm going to come up. Maybe my garage is going to be over there. At the very bottom of this, you have an orbit button. And this allows you to kind of go around your piece. So I kind of clicked on it. Ooh, and as I'm looking, this is why we orbit. This thing is floating in the sky. So I either need to edit undo, which I think that's what I'm going to do, and get rid of that and make sure that I can get it drawn on the ground here. All right. So you're going to kind of play around with those things, but we can draw on the sides of stuff. You know, maybe this is going to be one of my windows. You know, I can make things longer if I want to. I can make things taller if I want to. You can kind of experiment with all of those. And then make sure you're looking at that file to show the different things that you need to have in there so that when you're working with your building that you can get those to come up. Now, if you're working at home and you can't seem to get the Sketchup for schools to work, send me an email and I will try to come up with something different for you. It might just be that you'll have to do a pencil drawing or something like that. But try going through the steps that I did in the beginning of this video. See if you can get to them. Next week, we're going to continue working on this because this is going to take a little bit of time to get in our details. And also next week, I will show you how to put some other things in your piece as well. So we'll get some fancier stuff going in your mansion area when we can, okay? If you need help, send me an email, and I'll talk to you guys soon.